here. She says, I got a subpoena. AUSA says, where did you live with Cassie? She says in Manhattan. AUSA says, did Cassie drink? Carrie says, not much. AUSA says, any drugs? Carrie Morgan says, none. Whoa, this is actually important. I'm going to pause this by saying this is important in the sense of we've just heard that Cassie went to rehab. We've heard that Cassie was heavily under the influence of drugs. How could her best friend not know? Now, I'm guessing this is the government asking something that could hurt their case, right? They're saying she doesn't drink that much, whatever. Well, it could help their case in the sense of saying, did he force her to take drugs? And that's why her friends never seen her take drugs outside of being with Diddy. And that is one of the arguments they're trying to make. They're saying behavior that she exemplified or did with Diddy, she never did outside of being with Diddy. For example, she never did a freakoff unless he was with Diddy. And yes, she did do freakoffs while she was dating other people with Diddy, but she never did a freakoff with anybody else. That didn't include Diddy, right? So maybe they're trying to say, yeah, this woman wasn't really a druggie. Diddy got her hooked on drugs to control her. And that's why she was taking drugs around him. I didn't see her too much off drugs. Seems to be maybe the case, right? So what was she doing for work? Modeling. And she recorded Me and You. AUSA says, when did you learn they were dating? 2007. AUSA says, did you travel with Cassie and Mr. Combs? She says, yes. We went to Ibiza, Miami. AUSA says, what drugs did Combs provide? Molly, marijuana, ecstasy. AUSA says, which of them did Combs take? She says, all. Did you take any drugs along with Cassie? She says, opiates. Okay. All right. By the way, we don't know who are the other witnesses. We don't know who the other witnesses are going to be, Chad. All right. So we don't know who the other witnesses are going to be. The judge did ask for a schedule of witnesses, and it appears that the schedule of witnesses so far has Diddy, well, not Diddy, but had Dawn Richard and then Carrie Morgan on the stand. We don't know who's going to come after that. At some point, we're going to get Jane Doe, but we do have to think about all the other things that has to be proven. Maybe somebody who worked on the car or who recovered the car, or a cop that recovered or responded to the scene of the car being blown up for Kid Cudi. Don't think Kid Cudi going to take the stand. There's a lot of other people, and maybe like some clinical psychiatrists or trauma psychiatrists that could be taking a stand to kind of like push home some of these points of like a victim being in these situations, and maybe you think that they're operating under their own free power and free will, but they're actually being taken advantage of, and they're moving out of fear or being in a drugged up state. So we're gonna see a lot more people other than like people that we know or hear about. So far, we're hearing a lot about people we know and hear about. Okay, let's see. We should get some more tweets here. They probably got about 30 more minutes, or maybe a couple more minutes before they break. Okay, so it says, how did Mr. Combs act? It says he would yell at Cassie. She lost her confidence big time. She lost her spark. Did he talk down to her? Yes, about her looks, who she talked to. Did he contact you looking for her? He says a lot. So they're kind of driving home this whole thing that Cassie would be missing at times, or like, she would be absent. And Diddy would send security to go get her. He would call multiple people to try to get in contact with her. And he made a point where Cassie had to be held accountable, or Cassie had to be present when he wanted Cassie to be present. He would hit up the best friend. I think they may have even mentioned he may have even hit up the moms. Like, Diddy always made sure he knew about Cassie. And this is going to go into the government's point of, you remember sex trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. It's like, yeah, you could say Cassie could walk out the door, but if when she walks out the door, he tracks her down with security, he's still threatening her, he's saying he's going to drop the video, he's hitting up her best friend, he's pretty much has control or has a tap on her whole life. The physical act of leaving the room of a freakoff doesn't still allow her to escape, right? Also, he had a place that she used to stay at that supposedly he had access to. So, just trying to play devil's advocate on how they're trying to roll this case out, right? Anyway, I'm gonna play this video.
Go in. As soon as I go in, it's more shit going on in the house than outside. I thought outside was a crazy mess because of the music and the people. No, they were like, I called it like sardines in the house because everybody was up on each other. I could feel the moist and the sweat. As soon as I got in there, it was like a sweatshop. And it's a lot of things going on in different corners. It's a huddle over here, huddle over there. It's these type of people over here. You could just look to your left and you can see something. You look to your right, you can see something else going on. You look forward, there's some other shit going on. I mean, I had to like watch my step. It's people running around screaming, having fun, I guess. But I'm like, I need to watch myself up in here because what's going on? Mind you, it's people asking you want a drink, passing you stuff. You have, the waitresses walking around naked, asking you, do you want stuff? And
the more I listen to this, I don't think Shorty was at a freak-off at all. The freak-off looks like extreme sex. They're not hanging out and just drinking. The freak-off looks like you fuck you do it till you nut, you rub this nut on this. It didn't feel like, it's not, I think what she was realizing is that maybe it's the first time she's partied with celebrity. Yes, was Diddy freaked out? Like he's freaked out in the sense of, he gonna have maybe girls in bikinis, naked girls, they're pouring like body shop, maybe that, but that's just like a freaky party. That's not a freak off. The freak off, people are fucking.
I'm not really a drinker. The last thing I'm gonna do, at that time I was smoking weed, I don't anymore, but that was it. So I was like, because if I'm gonna be acting like this, I don't wanna take a sip of nothing up in here. And I just think everybody's, they were like intoxicated, but nothing out of the norm yet. Until I look over it and I see some little people. So I'm like, what's going on over there? They look dressed up, I don't know if it's a video shoot going on or what, but I'm just like looking like, okay, little people. And, not midgets. So I'm just thinking like, okay, I know I'm not tripping, I don't know. So I'm just like, whatever. I felt disgusted at this point because now I'm like, okay, this is some Hollywood shit and this must be some billionaire shit. So see, I'm not that up there. So let me just head on out because I'm not trying to be in the middle of all of this. I need to figure out what the prince about to do with me because it just seemed weird. And I just walked out because I still have my friend out there waiting on me. So it's like I seen what I needed to see and I just was disgusted. Now, in this industry, we could see our favorite rappers doing bisexual things and we could feel like we still didn't see it. It could be right in front of our face and we still won't believe it. People could tell us, we can feel it and we still won't believe it. But what I seen, I'm like, this is some funny, weird, freaky shit. And at the end of the day, these people are the weirdos. I'm not with this, no. So I go outside. P. Diddy is outside on the couch with the prince. He's already just jacking off. Well, I don't know what I can say. And he's already just, feeling like, okay, she's been in there. She's seen, when people feel comfortable and you're on their playground, right? They like, so what do you think? Basically like, are you with this shit or what? Like, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be like the weirdo. It's kind of like when somebody offers you some or something at a party and it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. You try to make it seem like I'm not gonna do that today. You guys are not weird. You guys aren't. But so I'm not trying to offend anybody. But I just was like, oh, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, are you going to Cuba with us? So it's the girls. The girls that's all on the prince. The prince is on the couch. Diddy is on the couch. And I'm like, where did this couch come from? Now I feel like I'm tripping because I'm like, I didn't see this couch before. Now I feel like they trying to run a play on me, like the Truman Show. Like I started to get paranoid because the music, all this shit going on, what I just seen. I'm like, I just wanted to, I literally wanted to cry because I'm like, I'm always in some shit trying to be famous. Like, damn, like I thought I was this close and then this, like every single time. Because I done had interviews, not interviews, but like meeting with certain Atlantic Records, Interscope, and Def Jam, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Diddy kept what she described, and I do not believe is a freak off. I believe Diddy threw extravagant parties, and if anything, the only thing I would take more serious is like someone like Gene Deal saying he saw Ja Rule come out of the room. I think Diddy wasn't trying to recruit other women. I think Diddy was trying to entice other guys by trying to show them, like there's niggas like that, be like if you tell some of these horny ass rappers, yo, I got some bitches, blah blah blah, we could go upstairs. They'll go upstairs thinking they about to just run some type of two-man. They about to fuck one bitch, you fuck the other chick. The whole time, Diddy probably on some weird shit, but he's like really disguising it. You know what I mean? Like really disguising it. And he probably did that with rappers. I don't think he aggressively tried to fuck no rapper because I think they would slap the fuck out of him. But he had these, I think it was homoerotic urges. I think Diddy wanted penis this entire time. It was easier for him to kind of get those rocks off or those kinks off when it was a sex worker, because that would make sense. Okay, yo, fuck her till she, and by the way, I don't think he wanted much women to know. I think with the guys, he could disguise it as, nah, bro, yo, this that Diddy shit, man. We just gonna get mad bitches. The whole time, Diddy looking at him like, yo, I ain't know Fabulous was built like this still. Yo, F-A-B-O, L-O, you know what I mean? I think that's what he was on. Like, he was watching the men, but he could play it off on some, oh, nah, we just both fucking bitches. We both fucking bitches. The whole time, he looking at Fab like, damn, you doing it, daddy. Nah, you doing it over there, daddy. Yeah, fuck what I'm doing, daddy. You doing it. Yo, Meek, you doing it, daddy. You know, I think that's what's going on. I'm being honest with y'all. Like, nothing else makes sense. I'm not, like, this is not even a crazy theory. Chat, nothing else makes sense. There's not, we've heard 50 stories now. Not one of these stories say he was trying to recruit other women. Not one of them. Not one. But we hear stories of him saying with men, you ain't really party with me. We hear stories of, yo, yeah, when I opened the door, Ja Rule came out and Ja Rule said, you don't want to get up in that room. It's a lot of freaky shit going on up in that room. There's not one of these stories that involve another woman. So I gotta think, or maybe I could be wrong too. Because let's go to the Ja Rule story. I don't think Cassie was involved in that. I don't think, again, these are theories of mine. I don't think Diddy wanted other men in the industry because he was competitive. And that's the thing. I think Diddy gay, but I think he was competitive more than anything. I don't think he, as a man who's heterosexual, you don't want another man to fuck your girl. I don't think it's because of that. I think he just was always competing with his peers. That's why he used to get at her like, bitch, you fucking Michael B. Jordan? Bitch, what you mean you going to OVO Fest? Bitch, yo, stop playing with me, man. I think it's because he was competing with those guys. Not necessarily that it was those guys. So he would allow his girl to get fucked by prostitutes and escorts, people who weren't in his industry that he never had to worry about. So he was into that, but he never had to worry about these people. So let's say if it was him and Fabulous or him and Ja Rule, like freaking off. I don't think that's not his girl. He don't bring Cassie in there. I don't think he bring Cassie there. I still think Diddy gay. So Diddy want to watch the nigga slang cock. He the nigga? Well, first of all, I don't do shit like this. I would never do some shit. I wouldn't even be able to get hard in a room with another man dicking down something right there. I think he probably got a room. He fucking a girl. She fucking a girl. And the other nigga probably focusing on the girl. And Diddy the whole time just looking at the other nigga like this. And every now and then nigga look up and be like, what the fuck? And then Diddy started doing some other shit. I guarantee you, bro. I'm telling you. Diddy wanted penis this whole time, gang. I'm telling you, gang. Like, yo, there's nothing else that makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. So what she's talking about, maybe there was a freak off going on upstairs. I don't think this is the Cassie freak off, though. The way he dealt with Cassie, I think it was sex worker freak off. Cassie would have said it. Oh, yeah, one time he let Ja put his dick in my mouth. Like I think Cassie would have said that shit. I know it's extra pause, I know, but like, we got to try to make sense of this. The dude is super competitive. He's trying to slap Drake over his girl. He's mad at Michael B. Jordan. He's blowing up Kid Cudi's car. I don't think he's trying to have freak-offs with other rappers with his girl. I think his girl is a way for him to get his rocks off at the escorts. And I think he probably had two mans or little orgies with other rappers, but he would have random bitches in there. The whole time, he want the rapper. The whole time, he's on some take that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe she's talking about that, but that's a different freak off from the Cassie freak off.
It isn't the one, and it won't be right, and it'll be.
Because, again, and I think y'all get it. In Cassie freak-offs, she's the constant. She's the constant. We actually don't hear, apparently he did used to fuck her at times, but she was the person who he was comfortable with that he could hide behind and go in the other room, and she would take the semen, scoop it out of her pussy, and rub it on his nipples. And that was their secret. So if we're thinking he has these homoerotic desires, because he's competitive, he's not going to bring Cassie in that other shit. I could be wrong. But that's where maybe the random girls come in, because the thing about rappers, you could always lure them in with the idea of bitches. Like, if you're ever trying to get rappers or really anybody in the entertainment industry to go nowhere, all you got to tell them, yo, nah, pop out. There's going to be mad hoes there. Niggas is there. Niggas is there. You bring the hoes for them, and you get to watch them fuck. Makes sense to me.
Be some weird shit that.
All right, let me see. Are we at lunch yet for this case? All right, okay. Says sometimes Diddy would call 50 times in a row. AUSA says, would others call you for him? Says yes. Christina Karam, which, by the way, or KK. So that's the same person. Chat, we're gonna keep watching out for this name. If she's not an indicted co-conspirator, she's somehow non-indicted. Will she testify? How did she avoid testifying? Because these people who are party to all of the stuff, or witnesses or victims, are claiming she's a co-conspirator. AUSA says, did you witness any assault? She says, yes, first in the Hollywood Hills. Ruben, one of his security guards, was there. AUSA says, what did Mr. Combs do to Cassie? Kerry Morgan says he kicked her. Okay? AUSA says, what did she do? Morgan says, nothing. I told Ruben to do something. He indicated he wouldn't. AUSA says, then what? We left the house. Cassie and I were hiding by someone's front steps. So once again, you know, and this is why I think the prosecutor, if they're going to win this week, right? Again, I'm scoring in my own way. If they're going to win this week, though, they have to somehow prove. They got to somehow prove. Beyond just the violence, where this becomes full sex trafficking. Because they keep telling us the same thing. Diddy beat her. Chat, do y'all believe Diddy beat her? I think everybody in the world believe Diddy beat her. That's not the point. Right? Now, I know they're trying to prove these little subtle nuances. Like, well, we got to mention the beatings, but the beatings were the overlying factor of the fear and her trying to get away, i.e. hiding. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just looking for a little bit stronger evidence, I guess. Right? We'll see. AUSA says, and the next time, Kerry Morgan says, in Jamaica, I saw him drag her by the hair. I ran to get my purse and phone so we could leave. AUSA says, what do you see next? Kerry says, I thought she was knocked out. Then she got up and ran into a wooded area. Wow. So we're hearing about just more violence. More violence. Diddy to Cassie. A lot more violence. All good.
That happened at the last minute. So this is one of the weird things that happened at the last minute. And then when they sprung up Cuba on me, I'm like, nigga, I thought I was going home. I thought my 2 weeks is up. Like, now Cuba? And then they know and I don't know. So too many surprises for me. So I was like, next I end up dead. So no, I'm not gonna do it. And it was just like, I was like, oh, we're going to Cuba. And then D's like, yeah, are you coming to Cuba with us? You too? So just like, okay. After the fact of all this, I've heard some things about Cuba, that they don't even stamp your passport and that people get lost in the sauce out there. We hear these stories about Dubai. What about Cuba? What about the unseen? Like, you know, like I'm just a party.
That's very conspiratorial. Just because you're trying to allude that the place that they're going to go is the direct result of them trying to evade notification or evade or to alert anyone about their sex trafficking.
goer at this point. They probably think I'm a sex worker. They probably think I'm a model. They probably think I'm an opportunist. And yeah, I am an opportunist, but I'm not going to do something that I may regret later, or that you guys are going to hold over my head. All the stories that we do here. And I think that it is true, because I even seen someone, because before I went there, I was signed to a rapper. I ended up seeing someone there that was friends with the rapper, and he was dressed totally different there. And when he seen me, he was rubbing on me too, and he was like, hey, you. I don't think that he would have did that back in California with the rappers. He doesn't say shit to me when we were in California, but in Miami at that house, he was comfortable and touching and feeling on me too. When I got back home, fast forward just on this note, when I got back home, I went to try to go hit him up, the rapper that I seen there, and I was blocked because I went on my other page, like my little Finsta, and I was like, why is his name coming up here? I said, why would he block me? That's fishy, because I didn't do nothing to you. So is it because I left, or you didn't want me to know, or nobody to know that you were there? It was just a trip, you know what I'm saying?
Chat, let me tell you this. And again, I do believe Diddy was always on some shit. But this is one of those situations, I think this woman probably ain't taking accountability. If they blocked you, it's because probably how you act when you get drunk, or how you act when you go to parties. They're not blocking you for no reason. Like, oh yeah, she called us, let me block her. What the fuck? No. I'm pretty sure you're not socially aware that you rub people the wrong way and they don't want to speak to you. It sounds good to be like, oh, it's like a get out moment where they run into me and they know that I know their secrets, so they block me. Nah, bruh. You probably like insufferable, because you're not speaking about how you're moving, but you keep being at these places. So you're just moving around like, what's going on? So you're saying that they're pretty much trying to recruit you into sex trafficking, but even now you ain't fuck. Come on, bro.
This guy, the rapper, he really is vouching for Diddy. Like, you know how certain people are like, no, he wouldn't do that. This one in particular is like, no, of course you're saying that because you was partying with him and you probably did some things. Like, that's just what I think, because come on, like, that was just weird. And at that time, before I put two together, I was like, maybe them little ones is there with somebody, but why? Like, look at what time in the morning, under, around liquor, around, drip, rock, come on. No, and I'm tired of stuff being so covered up, but I had prayed before all of this. I'm a believer in God, and I was like, God, listen, I know you be using me, but don't use me like that, please. I had to be the one to not be intoxicated. Because I don't know. Basically, yeah, like, if I would have just took a drink, I feel like, or if I wouldn't have been on my P's and Q's, I probably would have went to Cuba. Or I probably would have just went along with the flow. And I probably wouldn't have been here to tell my story. Because one of the girls, the Asian one, because she was just an assistant, I started to talk to her, like, before we went to Diddy's house. So, we were, like, well acquainted. And she was telling me, I was like, so what are you doing out here? Because I started asking the girls questions in the house. And then she was like, my sister is in competition with me. I just want to change my life. I just want, like, a new life. And she was like, and I think being the prince's assistant would be good for me. He told me that. And when she said this, I'm just thinking that that's what he told her, because she was the assistant. Remember, I'm the artist. So she said that the prince said that he was going to stamp her whole passport, her whole book. So knowing that information and that's what he told her. And then they just now told me Cuba. Who knows what their plans was and what was going to happen.
Anyway. Okay, so what happened next? It says there's 2 golf carts in the driveway. I got in one. Sean got in the other one. We went in different directions looking for Cassie. Did you find her? Yes. Then we hid in a ditch. Huh. So in Jamaica, she saw her drag her by the hair. She ran back to get her purse and phone so she could leave. So what'd you see next? Thought she was knocked out. Then she got up and ran into a wooded area. Then what happened next? There's 2 golf carts in the driveway. I got in one, Sean got the other one. We went different directions to look at Cassie or look for her. I found her. We hid in the ditch. Whispering. What about the incident at Comstock, an apartment? So Cassie came back with a hoodie covering her face. Then Sean came and tried to get in, hitting the door with a hammer. I called D-Rock. He said, did he get in? No. Then the police came. Wow. Okay. We still need like a D-Rock interview, huh? Look like he's witnessed a lot. Diddy, a year ago, he pulled up with D-Rock. So it looked like Diddy's still cool with D-Rock, right?
Okay, Diddy.
I think this is Christina Karama.
Yeah.
Which one's D-Rock? Is it him or him?
Yeah. Diddy, what's up, baby? Let's go.
Yo, Diddy is such a fraud, though. Yo, anytime you see a nigga get too positive, they're doing some real fucked up shit in the background. I ain't gonna lie to you. As soon as Diddy started saying he was brother love, I was like, all right, man, this nigga doing some real devilish shit. Any nigga who act like they too positive, I knew something was up.
Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? I have some very serious news.
This is probably after a fucking freak-off.
I've been praying on this, and I decided, I know it was risky because I knew it could come off as corny to some people. Like, yo, I decided to change my name again. I'm just not who I am before. I'm something different. So my new name is Love, a.k.a. Brother Love. I will not be answering to Puffy, Diddy, Puff Daddy, or any of my other monikers, but Love or Brother Love, okay? It's my birthday. I feel good. God is the greatest. I give all glory, and I thank my mama and daddy. Mwah!
Okay. All right. By the way, Hoodbox TV, thank you for the 10. I'm going to go to the Academy page in a second to read donations. He says, why are the sex workers being charged with federal crimes for selling sex across state lines? Diddy can't buy something that's not for sale. So number one, all these sex workers, I would imagine, have done a proffer, which would probably, in exchange for their testimony, they're not going to get prosecuted, right? Not necessarily immunity, but it just means the government is not going to go after them for that. Also, here's the thing. The government is really going after Diddy in a racketeering sense. Part of racketeering is that the person has to understand or has some type of implicit knowledge that they're a part of this scheme, this finesse. For example, and I know you're talking about the sex worker, but just to explain it in a racketeering sense is that if you hire maids and their job is just to clean shit up, and then you fucking kill somebody and they happen to clean up some of the stuff or some of the whatever that was left from you killing people, they weren't knowledgeable of the murder. They weren't involved in the murder. They weren't complicit in the murder. They were just doing their jobs. So I think that's how the government is going to take on looking at these sex workers, right? Where, yes, prostitution is illegal. These were escorts who I think in the favorable way, or how the government, again, some part of the law, the law is supposed to be pretty much black and white, but there are gray areas. They're going to look at it like these people were almost told and also scared of Diddy himself, because none of them explicitly were selling sex services. The one that was brought up on the stand, he was a dancer. Diddy then engaged him to say, I want you to fuck her. And they said they seen devilish looks in his eyes. They seen Diddy do A, B's, and C, and D. They were scared. So that's why I think we haven't seen charges for the sex workers. But you have to remember, Diddy is a target here, not them. So a lot of them probably have given their cooperation, or if they had videos, exchange their videos to the government for lack of prosecution, if that makes sense. Entertainment Zone, thank you for the 5, says, she said every single time her ass know what she was doing. Are you talking about Cassie? Hypno, thank you, brother. He says, can you do a producer tag for me? Well, hopefully me saying your name just now was a producer tag. He said, love your work, appreciate you. It said, pull up Diddy on the Graham Norton show. What happened there? Diddy, Graham Norton show. Let's see both of these.
Yes, this is deliberate. So this album, because you have albums and music for different frequencies. And I'm a frequency, so I'm the love frequency. So like when you want to get with your significant other and you just want to just get into that mood, that groove, it starts off and you can like dance together on some R&B music. And it's very extremely soulful, unapologetically sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Okay? And then it just jumps right into just straight bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, about that brother love shit is like, you go brother love, I usually start looking at you at that point. Anybody whose soapbox is too much, Big U, rather than just being a former gangster, says he's here to stop the bullshit and be the liaison. Like, he's like, I'm the community leader. Now he's doing more crime and killing people, right?
Bam.
Okay, yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you saying you can keep rhythm to this?
You have to keep rhythm. And you know what we call it? This album is for the strokers. You know what I'm saying? Because there was something that came in, and it was like, you know, it was like the rap, like
Oh,
computer.
yes.
No, nobody, it's just... You know, you gotta take your time with things. And the last thing is you have to have a red light bulb. It's called a love lamp.
Okay.
So you do that, you lock the door, lock the kids out, and y'all two get it popping. And the soundtrack...
Is that our homework?
Yeah. It's the soundtrack to your sex life. I've just ordained that, 'cause I know.
Can we just change the top bulb?
Yeah, you just change the bulb.
Red.
You get a red light, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
we should try that.
Yeah,
We're lacking, so.
yeah, trust me.
10 years. 10
The neighbors will be walking by tomorrow night. Go, with the red lights on.
Really?
Because you're launching the album here.
Yes.
Now, are you
Last
have-
Train to Paris is the name of the album.
And are you going to have a big launch party?
Of course. Why, of course?
Of course, because in New York you had a big launch party.
We have a party for everything.
You do, don't you? You love a party.
Yes, we have a party for Tuesday.
But the
We have a
launch
party
party.
for Friday.
I'm getting it. The launch party in New York, didn't the fire brigade have to come? And not in a good way. Like, wasn't it an actual fire?
No, I mean, they usually come. It's part of the festivities.
No, but didn't somebody catch on fire?
Oh, at the last party.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you forget something like that?
He has a lot of parties. We've established that.
A lot of things happen at these parties. But, yeah, in the bathtub, in the bathroom at the party, in the bathtub, in the jacuzzi with the strippers, one of the strippers' hair got caught on fire. Because of the candles.
Thank God she was in a jacuzzi.
Never
Safety
from the
first.
strippers catch on fire.
You know it's gone wrong. Can anyone smell a stripper burning? You have a butler. Don't you have a butler?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, not many people do.
No, but I had got it from watching, like, you know, movies about London. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that y'all have butlers over here, so I said I need to get one.
And now, because Britain isn't that hot.
All right, man. Let's read up these last couple tweets before they're gonna break for lunch. We're not going anywhere. It says, what happened? So this is after they said they hid in the bushes. No. This is actually the Comstock apartment. Kerry says that Cassie came back, hoodie covering up her face. Sean came in, tried to get in, hitting the door with a hammer. They called D-Rock. Said, did he get in? They said, no, the police came. So what happened? Cassie wouldn't show them her ID and nothing happened. They left a card. And AUSA says, read this message. Do you see the attachment? Morgan says, yes, it's a photo of the card the detective left. So it looked like Cassie must have kept the card eventually, or maybe Kerry kept the card and they turned that card over to the cops. Oh, wow. Okay. They should be shortly going on break, so just a heads up. Yeah, they're going to be shortly going on break. it appears that these witnesses are going to go by quick. No one should take another day unless it's Jane Doe. Here we go. Okay, we're trying to look for updates. Give me 1 second, Sean. Okay, yeah, we're still kind of waiting. Yeah, this week is starting out a little bit interesting because it was so explosive last week that it's interesting that they're only still talking about Cassie. They're not talking about this other mystery woman, right? They're not talking about, and I'm wondering if Gina Hewitt is going to be a part of it. I know some people had thought that Daphne Joy Daphne Joy. I don't know if she's going to be a part of this whole proceeding. Has she posted anything? Yeah, she ain't posted before the trial. Yeah, we don't know who she is. Has Gina posted? She has me blocked. But Jane Doe hasn't showed up. Obviously, people are going to be in court. Said, talks new film, loves a loser. Okay.
Boy, oh boy, Ellen, I love
Ours doesn't app that you can trade.
Can't wait.
Now, QR code on screen, and you.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel. You know?
And then it will carry on there.
Yeah. Then it, no, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
And years later, Combs said he wanted to attend one of Ellen's parties.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because, you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not going to let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
Your shoes, your feet are going to have blisters. You're going to be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
Now, the two seem to kind of dance around the apparently open secret that Combs' parties were beyond wild, with reports of drugs and multiple participants and more. And as the allegations against Combs have mounted, many have called his interviews with Ellen now creepy.
So no money on you?
I mean, it's just a little bit of money on me.
Oh, you do have money on you. Lord, have mercy. Where are you going after this? It's all 20s. Where are you going after this? What are you doing?
You know we doing what we plan to do, girl.
But I have to be clear about something. There is a difference between a wild party and something that is criminal. Okay, there's a difference between having a great time and something that's an illegal freak-off. And having said that, remember when I told you about those freak-offs, right? Cassandra Ventura, as well as prosecutors, said in legal filings that people forced to participate would often have to get IV drips to recover from exhaustion and prolonged drug use. Well, in 2016, Combs appeared on stage with blue gauze around his arm and explained that he was just getting an IV drip backstage. He'd apparently arrived at the studio with it.
They said that I would have to stay. I said, no, I have to go. I said I could pull it out myself. So I walk in, and I'm talking to Ellen. I have the IV, and then the blood is going down. I start to panic. I go into the bathroom, and I pulled it out myself, and I just made it here, and I love you.
I love you, too.
So, of course, the natural question is, what was going on right before this taping? And to be very, very clear about something, Ellen DeGeneres has not been accused of anything. She is not listed in any one of the government's filings. The only reason we are talking about this now is because we are going back and looking at these old interviews, looking at these old comments, looking at these old interactions to see if potentially they could play a role in his criminal case. So with that in mind, let's move forward. Well, to talk more about this, to talk more about Ellen DeGeneres'
in September and some his parties,
wild after party that's filled with music and it goes.
Interesting. All right, we should have an update, and I think they should be breaking for lunch now, so let's see. AUSA says, did Mr. Combs ever assault you? She says, yes, he hit me with a wood coat hanger and choked me. AUSA says, where did the hanger hit you? She says, behind the ear. AUSA says, what did he express concern about? She says, who Cassie was cheating on him with. See, someone asked the question, is this also DV to a lover, you Diddy supporters, or this is clearly a pattern? Yeah, I think Diddy was clearly a violent individual. Was he a sex trafficker? Again, I think violence is a part of that. Too difficult to really say at this point, if you ask me. By the way, thank you guys for all the donations. Play Legendary says, play Charlotte's interview with Cassie about the leak. Oh. Cassie Charlamagne leak. Where is it? Where's Cassie's interview with Charlamagne? Cassie interview with Charlamagne. What's this?
Single must be love.
How did that make you feel when you saw your nude pictures on the internet?
Oh shit! This is it.
We're gonna talk about that next break. It's 215-263.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
I am.
I'm not really
100.
One for Cassie. How does does it upset you or bother you when you have a song that you think is hot, and then somebody like Diddy wants to get on there who can't rap? He's a great businessman, but his rap sucks. And for Red Cafe, my question for you is: has anybody ever told? I mean, I like your music. You sound, your music is hot, but anybody ever tell you sound like Obi Trice a little bit?
That's the first time I heard that. That's not the first time you heard Diddy suck, Red Cafe. Don't you tell that lie.
No,
I thought he said.
No. The question
Obi
for Red
Trice,
Cafe
man.
was that he
Listen.
sounds like Obi Trice a little bit, but for
Oh,
Cassie,
maybe
I'm
Obi
sorry.
Trice sound like me though.
Oh yeah, true indeed.
Yeah,
True
you know.
indeed.
And I
Well,
ain't
true
mad at him.
indeed.
If I was him, I would want to sound like me too.
Okay, I ain't mad at that answer.
All right.
But for Cassie, when you got a hot album, when you feel like you got a song out that's really hot, and then Diddy comes in the studio, I don't know how that process works, but he comes in the studio, I'm like, yeah, that's hot. Let me throw something more on that. Does that bother you?
No, it didn't bother me, and I liked the rhyme on the record. So.
Well, not just with that. Doesn't he have on your other song? He rapped on your other song too, didn't he?
My very first single you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, that was cool. I mean, because it had Jock on it. It was just like kind of like welcome me into Bad Boy, being in the Bad Boy. So it wasn't. No.
Okay. Well, thank you. Good luck to your both
you
guys' albums.
Yep, the all-new Morning Beat with Charlamagne on 100.3 The Beat. We're here with Bad Boy's latest artists, Red Cafe and Cassie. I started to say victims. I'm not gonna lie. Started to say latest victims, but
You're funny.
I'm just being honest.
No, you're actually.
People
like
don't
a
win
comedian.
on Bad Boy, except unless your name is Diddy. Red, you know this.
Me and Red are gonna turn it around.
Yeah. I think it's a good
We're gonna
look.
turn around what people think.
I think it's a good look. I mean, the last rapper from Brooklyn that got with Diddy, we saw what happened. Biggie, he blew up. So Biggie, Biggie did remarkable things. Was that something that you really wanted to do? Like, did you say, you know what? I think doing a joint venture with Bad Boy would be a good look. How did that come about? That whole joint venture, because he was already on Convict. Yeah. So how did that come about?
Me and Diddy was talking about we were working together, and we started talking about a few different things, and we kind of was seeing eye to eye on a lot of them, a lot of different things.
Naked pictures leak. Now, Cassie, as I was talking to you earlier, now it's no surprise in R&B, it's Beyonce, Rihanna, and everybody else. Like I think Carrie's starting to get her own space. We're in the R&B pop lane. I'm saying R&B pop lane. Carrie Hilson's starting to get her own space. Ciara, even though her last album flopped, she's still there. and then it's really like the rest of y'all. That's why I say it's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. So how do you separate yourself from that? How do you get yourself noticed? Other than shaving your head and having naked pictures leaked.
Well, I have to say, just to clear that up, shaving my...
Yo, this Charlamagne was a demon, bro. I see why Charlamagne like found God, got married, dealing with mental health. Because if they bring up these old clips, again, to me, they're funny. I don't think none of it's cancelable, but shit, they would never let him live this down.
Shaving your head and having naked pictures leaked.
Well, I have to say, just to clear that up, shaving my head wasn't, a scream for attention. It's something I really wanted to do for a long time.
Okay.
And I finally did it, so that's that. But honestly...
And she was lying through her teeth. Diddy told her to do it. According to, I forgot who it was. They said Diddy saw someone with that haircut in the club and told her, you got to get this.
I just got back into doing things. I'm working hard. I can only count my blessings and just work as hard as I can. And that's what it is. I don't think I live in anybody's world but my own. So I'm my own competition. And I'm fighting to get past what I did before, obviously. So that's the biggest jump for me now. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. All right, we're gonna talk to Red Cafe and Cassie one more time in one hot second. If you got questions for them.
With a new album, but...
As much as I would like to entertain you, but nah, I actually think that record is all right.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay.
So do you have a release date yet? Both of y'all, Red Cafe mentioned you in the articles. I was talking about guys like.
All right, hold on. I think this is the first one. Here we go.
Hey, the all new morning beat with Charlamagne on 100.3 The Beat. DJ Touchtone providing the soundtrack. That was Red Cafe.
This is so interesting. I think this is when Charlamagne had gotten fired from Charlamagne got fired and he went to do radio, I believe, in Philly or something like that. And he had gotten fired supposedly because of Jay-Z over some Beanie Siegel shit.
Hottest in the hood, and my man Red Cafe is here.
It's moving.
Along with Cassie. If Jay-Z was really trying to move the culture forward at Summer Jam, like he said he was, instead of doing Death for Auto-Tune, he'd have brought you out to do Hottest in the Hood. He'd have introduced the new generation of Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
Brought you out to do Hottest in the Hood, brought Mano out to do all the above. But instead, he did Death for Auto-Tune. What's your thoughts on that, being a Brooklyn boy, Red Cafe? Don't do the politically correct thing now that you signed the bad boy.
Oh, Young Jock said it.
I'm sure he got a method to his madness.
Grand Heights, thank you for that. Young Jock said it.
This man, he trying to figure it out.
But being that you're on Convict, I'm sure you got at least 1 or 2 records with Auto-Tune.
103.5 is the beat of Miami? No, I think it was Charlamagne, the beats. Yeah, he had gotten fired.
We got some very shocking news. You actually yourself broke. Yeah. This wasn't broken by anybody else. You actually went on Twitter yourself and broke this news. So go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I put out on Twitter that I got fired from WPHI 100.3 The Beat in Philly. I mean...
Yeah, 103 The Beat in Philly. He had went to Philly, and then he got fired there because he said something about Beanie Siegel and Hove.
It wasn't nothing for me to break the news. My life is an open book, It's nothing for me to share something like that.
So describe to me...
Anyway, let's get back to...
Is it still bad boy / convict?
Yeah, absolutely. It's bad boy / convict.
And I'm hearing...
And T-Pain getting his auto-tune on my album for sure.
Okay.
I personally, I like auto-tune, man, I ain't mad at auto-tune. I mean, auto-tune ain't do nothing to me.
Exactly. It works sometimes, and it doesn't work other times.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of things Jay-Z could have called death to. He could have called death to gang banging. He could have called death to the celebration of drug culture in rap. He could have called death to old rappers who don't know when to sit down, but then he would have get to the South.
Okay.
So, I understand.
All right.
Now, Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie, I'm not gonna lie, Cassie. I talked about you so bad about a month and a half ago.
I want to hear what you said.
When you first shaved your head off, and then the pictures of you came out naked the next week, I said, this chick is screaming for attention in a Beyonce, Rihanna world.
Really?
Yes.
And is that how you truly feel?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
right. I know you think it's a little unfair to judge before you do know somebody.
I mean, I didn't judge. I was just giving my opinion because when they talk about Cassie, you don't hear a lot of good things. That's why I kind of got to give you props for keeping your head up because they say things like, you're untalented, you're not good vocally, and then when you shaved your head and came out with the naked pictures, it was like, okay, she's reaching that. But
I didn't put out the naked pictures.
Y'all like how Cassie just let him get that off. Yo, when they talk about you, they say a lot of negative things. That you're untalented. She says nothing. That you shaved your head for attention. Well, I ain't shaved my head for no attention. You're supposed to be like, what you mean I ain't got no talent, nigga?
Number 1. But I did put out the pictures of my head shaved.
And that's, I mean, everybody's following you now, so you're looking like a trendsetter nowadays.
I mean, it's not even a trend. It's something I did.
How did that make you feel when you saw your nude pictures on the internet?
My heart stopped for a second. You know what I mean? It was one of those situations, but and it was a few days of just kind of hell.
Well, why would you let a dude take pictures of you like that, knowing that you're Cassie? Because the pictures weren't old.
I took them and sent them to my boyfriend.
Really? Who was your boyfriend at the time? Diddy?
It doesn't matter.
Diddy doesn't need pictures of you naked.
It wasn't for him.
Ryan Leslie?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
This is Go Charlamagne. We don't get these fucking answers. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cassie's a goat. Again, I know she's saying this was not consensual. She was forced to do this. But, Cassie held that nigga Diddy down. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. Like, and I understand Diddy was probably tight that she cheated on him type shit. But Diddy been fucking mad. I don't know whether to say men or women. But Diddy been cheating too. Diddy, for how good she held that nigga down and kept this secret for so long, while her reputation and her image got slammed, bruh, I know she cheated with the trainer, but sometimes you gotta get a parting gift like, all right, just go ahead with that. Because, bruh, I ain't gonna lie, bro, she held that nigga down, dog. She definitely held that nigga down. Like, she took all the weird, whatever, like, criticisms, and she never, ever said, bro, you know what she could have said? Bro, I only took them because Diddy told me to take him. I did it for him. She took the pain and the embarrassment. I get it a little bit. Like, she really took the blame.
Them and sent them to my boyfriend.
Really? Who was your boyfriend at the time? Diddy?
It doesn't matter.
Diddy doesn't need pictures of you naked.
It wasn't for him.
Ryan Leslie?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
No.
We're going to come back to you, young lady. We're here. Okay. We got Cassie and we got Red Cafe in the building. You want to introduce your new single?
Yes, this is my new single, Must Be Love.
You have to speak up. It's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. You have to be heard, Cassie. Speak up. Introduce your single.
This is my new single, Must Be Love.
Featuring.
By the way, I'll say this. There's one thing in chat. I know y'all could say Yapidemics. Y'all either say Yapidemics, I'm just chatting. And obviously I'm trying to connect dots here. Or y'all could say Faxademics. I've noticed one thing about the women that Diddy has really dated or kind of locked in, with the exception of Young Miami. Like, Young Miami just didn't fit the mold. Remember Gina Huh, the little Asian chick, when she's on Tasha K, and Tasha K says, take a drink, and she hurries up and drinks? Like, Diddy dates people pleasers. Diddy dates people pleasers that probably have a hard time standing up for themselves. Now, some might call that submission, but I think it's more than submission. It's women who aim to please, and not only sexually, but in every way. They want you to be happy with them. Maybe you could call that low self-esteem. I don't know. Also, if we go by the story, look like Diddy, part of his game was telling her she ain't pretty enough. Yo, you look too Mexican, man. Fuck out of here. Yo, that performance was bad. It was less about reassuring her and more about putting her mindset down, and that would get her to want to please him more. You get what I'm saying? Again, just even look at, remember, granted, Charlamagne is a powerful guy in the music industry, has a big voice, pause. But Charlamagne just flat out called her untalented. And 2 minutes later, Charlamagne's like, nah, they can't hear you. Say it louder. And you could tell, like, she's so quick to, yeah, my new single. Like, her reaction is to just do what the person's telling her to do to please the person. You get what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
No.
We're going to come back to you, young lady. We're here. Okay. We got Cassie and we got Red Cafe.
Somebody in the chat says, I need one of those.
The building, you want to introduce your new single?
Yes, this is my new single, Must Be Love.
You have to speak up. It's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. You have to be heard, Cassie. Speak up. Introduce your single.
This is my new single, Must Be Love.
Featuring?
Which one are you playing?
Is this the one featuring Red Cafe?
It's Diddy.
Oh my God. Y'all would leave Red Cafe off to play Diddy's verse?
I make it work, though.
215-263-1003 at toll free.
I wonder why Diddy never slapped shit out of Charlamagne. I know later he got involved with like Revolt start, like, syndicating the Breakfast Club, but the way how Diddy was moving, I'm surprised. Yo, you talking to his main chick like that on the radio and you ain't get slapped? Nah, no way. Yeah, there got to be a story about it. Charlamagne. Because if Birdman pulled up on him, Diddy definitely was trying to kill him. On him, oh, here we go.
On Vlad TV for the first time in like a decade, you know, you've seen him really get out there and tell his personality and everything else like that. You had him on The Breakfast Club, which I'm sure was, you know, somewhat of a result of his Vlad TV interviews.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and now Tony Ayo is doing his first ever solo show in New York at Sony Hall for the first time in his life because of, you know, the push that we gave him and then you followed up on, and suddenly he's doing his own tours and so forth. Like, yo, I love to see it. I love to see it.
Absolutely. I mean, think about, that's like even something like Versus. Versus, even though it's not considered hip-hop media, that's powerful because these platforms end up showing folk, but there's a difference between noise and having actual influence and power. You know, there's people that'll, you know, they'll bring people on Breakfast Club because Breakfast Club helps to sell books. Breakfast Club can help your podcast numbers jump. Breakfast Club can, you know, have people tune into your TV show. Breakfast Club can have people go out and vote for you. Breakfast Club can have people pull up to your, you know, movie, you know, that first weekend when those box office numbers really count. I'll never forget, you know, Diddy yelling and screaming at me. This is before I even recognized truly, you know, the power, you know, that the platform was commanding. This is when he dropped the Last Train to Paris album. And I gave him Donkey of the Day for that album, right? I'm like, yo, this shit is shake weight music. You know what I mean? Once again, being an asshole, because people love that album, right? But I'm just fucking with him. And he came to the station hot, like, to go out the back door, Charlamagne, type shit. And I remember when I finally had a conversation with Diddy about it, asked Sean Prez about it. Sean Prez put us on the phone. And Diddy was like, bro, you can't do that on my first week. He said, I'm a big boy. You know, I can take criticism with the music, but not on my first week when I'm trying to get these.
Damn. I want to see that original.
Since we got company in the room.
My disclaimer?
Yeah.
Okay, the views that Charlamagne expresses do not reflect the views of everybody else.
Yes.
In the room, including myself.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? Yo, Chad, two things. First of all, I think one of the best hidden secrets is that clearly Diddy was the most freaky nigga and he was doing these freakoffs. But also what's hidden is that, you know, the perception of Diddy's that Diddy's like some punk. That Suge bullied and he was running away from Suge. Now, granted, all them niggas died or went to jail. So Diddy was his mogul, and later he got that respect of, oh, Diddy could do a lot of shit, or like, yeah, he's not a punk no more type of shit. But looked like Diddy was always on that tough guy shit, right? Diddy looked like he was always on that bullshit. It's just that maybe his way of being on it wasn't the way of like Suge Knight and them niggas, so they got glamorized while we thought Diddy was just a stone cold bitch. But clearly, it don't look like he was.
And Diddy, who's our co-host this morning.
Yes. Yeah.
That's our disclaimer.
Okay, so Donkey today for Monday, March 8th goes to a man that Diddy knows very well, Shine Poe. Shine, you got to chill all the way out, B. You've been home for 6 months and you haven't.
Yo, look at Diddy's face, man. Diddy always, now when I look at Diddy, I could tell Diddy always want to slap a nigga, bro.
Dropped one hot record yet. The material you're dropping isn't even aight. It's terrible. He's released a new track called King David. Let's hear a little bit of this garbage.
You can tell he not all the way down with Charlamagne doing this.
Do you hear yourself?
Even though him and Shine wasn't getting along.
Well, listen, Shine does have an album coming out. He has Gangland.
That's a radio move. Just be. They won't do it while you're there. Huh. This is 14 years ago. Here we go.
God, this is the Breakfast Club. Let me put in my last train.
What did you say about Cassie?
Do we have to get into that? Can I finish?
So Diddy pulled up on Charlamagne.
It was when he interviewed Cassie.
Brush off my Sean John jeans, yeah?
Now, yesterday during Donkey of the Day, you put Bad Boy record label.
Yes.
Puffy.
Yes.
Diddy. Sean John.
Yes.
He was the Donkey of the Day.
Yes.
And you said the reason why was because?
I wasn't feeling Last Train to Paris album.
Right, and you slandered Diddy. Slandered Dirty Money.
Yes.
And one time before in your life, you slandered Cassie.
Yes.
Diddy refused to come up here and talk to you.
Yes. And me and Diddy had a phone conversation about that yesterday. First of all, Diddy is an OG. He's been making music for a long time, so he understands that people will have good and bad opinions of his music. He didn't agree with mine, of course.
Right. Of course not.
But he understood and respected that I have an opinion. But deeper than that, me and Diddy had a convo as men. And I was expressing my opinion of his music to him, but that wasn't his issue. His issue was I disrespected somebody that's real close to him. Right. You know, his shorty. I had no idea that this person was that close to him. And as a man, he expressed to me, what if that was your woman? How would you feel if someone disrespected her?
When you interviewed Cassie, he's mad about that.
Just let me finish here, please.
All right, his shorty Cassie.
And as a man, I totally understand.
Man, Charlamagne has to do an apology. I feel it still. Hold, let me see. We should be at lunch. Just give me one last update on these tweets, and then we should be at lunchtime. Let's see. AUSA said, who you speak to about it. Kerry Morgan says, Ryan. By the way, they're talking about the coat hanger, right? And she's saying that she got hit with a coat hanger over behind her right ear. And basically, he was mad about who Cassie was cheating on him with. They would say, it says, who do you speak about about the incident? And she says, Ryan, his old assistant. AUSA says, what did he do? Morgan says, nothing. And I haven't spoke to Cassie since. They went on break then, and they're definitely officially at lunch because it's 12:53. Okay, so the jury's out for lunch. The judge is saying, what's your best citation to try to get evidence in? Okay, they're trying to do some nomenclature stuff. Judges say, I'm going to look at them and come back. Combs says, we haven't seen this one before. And it says, y'all all need to go eat, go get a break, okay? So all this happened 4 or 5 minutes ago. So I would imagine that we're going to be out until 2. So, chat, we're not getting off, clearly. So we're just chilling. We're going to see who comes out of the courtroom. We're going to be doing all that shit. So you guys order your lunch, and I'll be here just kind of just vibing with y'all, all right? Y'all having a good time? Or not good time, because there's no having a good time watching this. But as long as y'all are good, whether you're doing delivery, Uber Eats, Lyft, if you're driving a truck, if you're working in a corporate office, if you're in school, just thank y'all for tuning in and rocking out.
And that, so I apologize to him for that over the phone because I totally understood where he was coming from because I got a woman that's close
Go to the Drink Champs interview. What's on a Drink Champs interview? Did he Drink Champs interview?
to me on that level, so I would feel the same way. I'm a respectful person, contrary to popular belief. So I apologize to Diddy for disrespecting his lady. As far as that last train,
what did you say about Cassie?
Do we have to get into that? Can I finish?
It was when he interviewed Cassie a while ago, and he said...
Can I finish talking here?
He said some things about her music and then about her...
That's what that nigga was trying to do to me about Young Miami, though.
Sleeping her way or whatever, something like that.
That was foul. That was nice.
That is disrespectful.
Not the music part. Not the music part, because that's my opinion. But sleeping her way to the top was it's a tad bit disrespectful. But as far as the Last Train to Paris album, we agree to disagree on that. But I don't want to sway anybody's opinion of that album. My opinion is my opinion, but don't let my opinion be your opinion.
They actually gave it good reviews in a lot of places.
A lot of great reviews.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Check it out for yourself and come to your own conclusion. So I salute Mr. Combs. The fact that Diddy even reached out to me, I appreciate it because he didn't have to do that. He's Diddy, the mogul, multimillionaire, lifestyle ambassador, hip-hop icon, and I'm just young Charlotte, the radio jock, trying to make my mark. But for him to reach out and for us to have that convo and for him...
Diddy applied a little bit of pressure right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Charlamagne came back. You can tell. He just didn't do like how Birdman do it. By the way, I'll give every artist this type of advice. Yo, radio DJs, media personality, media outlets, they're oftentimes fickle and petty, and they use things against you later. If you got a gripe with a media personality, an outlet, a blog, a Twitter page that says something against you, a lot of times y'all artists don't realize, yes, that one little platform might be just gnawing at your reputation this and third, but your voice, of course, is going to be a lot of times louder than theirs. And what happens is that even if they're in the wrong, you now created an enemy that is going to be tweeting at you, talking more than you, that's going to be trying to sway people against you, usually perpetually, just because, they got embarrassed. So a lot of times I advise all media entities, or not media entities, artists. I told this to Cardi B back in the day. I said, rather than blast in the shade room, you don't got to put up weird or wild pictures of Angie. Try to have a conversation with her, because at the end of the day, shit, it's probably been like 7 or 8 years since that happened. Cardi B and Shade Room are still both known entities, and obviously I think Shade Room kind of let it go. But if Shade Room was really petty, they'd be over here still kicking your back and making you look crazy. So, what Diddy did was the way to do it. And I'm pretty sure he was barking at Charlamagne, like, Charlamagne, you know, I A, B, C, and D, like, nigga, I get a booty going. Like, he could have said anything to Charlamagne, but the shit was handled in private, as opposed to Birdman, who pulled up on some. I'm telling you, what Birdman did was not more disrespectful than this call by Sean. But I guarantee, because it's public, Charlamagne still hasn't sat down with Birdman since, you know what I mean? And that goes into the power of embarrassment as well.
To give me some jewels about the game while we was on the phone.
I threw up in my mouth just now.
I respect that. I respect that. And I've said from the beginning, I respect Diddy, and anything rooted in respect can grow. That's how I feel.
This is just so different from yesterday.
Wasn't it?
Yo, Charlamagne's co-host always used to be setting him up for him to get an ass whooping because they wanted him to keep the same disrespected energy. They wanted to keep that disrespectful energy all the time. By the way, Low Life Brady says, yo, I like the no skin carry Charlamagne better. Nah, everybody know Raccoon Eye Charlamagne is greater Charlamagne. That's a fact. Like, that's like, yo, you know when Uzi goes back to purple dreads, you're like, oh shit, he's about to do it again. If once Charlamagne face looked like he hasn't washed his face in 10 years, if that come back around, you know we got the GOAT. That's the GOAT. That's a fact. That's the GOAT. That is the GOAT.
Just have to say.
Listen, anything rooted in respect can grow when two men have a phone conversation and a person tells you.
Oh, shit. Okay. We'll pause that. I'll do a little sidebar here. I know we're on lunch chat. We're still covering the Cassie and Diddy case. Don't go nowhere. Order your damn lunch. Chill right here. We're covering hip-hop. You know, this week we got to do minimum 8 hours a day. Shit, let me see. Fuck. Oh, chat, one day I can't do, oh my God. You know, I'm very honest with y'all. One of these days, I'm gonna try to get a pushback again. I need a pushback. So chat, I got a deposition this week. I can't do a fucking, it's during the day too, so I gotta go. I'm gonna get my lawyer to push it back though. And before any of you little conspiracy theory people who be like making videos, they finally got, it's my dog bite case. Like Pluto, you know what I mean? So, I got to do a deposition for that because I think my insurance company tried to sell with them and they asked for such astronomical amount of money. They're like, it's Akademiks. He's the richest nigga in the world. They asked for $500,000 for a dog bite. I was like, well, it's not my decision. My insurance company was like, who the hell do they think you are? I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, going forward with that. So I think one of these days, but I'm going to have it pushed back again. I think I'm going to try. I'm going to have to try. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just being honest with y'all with that. And also for the people who also see all these other random shit, like I've seen like this, Tasha K said some like, listen, if it was anything near true, like, come on now. Come on. All good though. Yeah, I can't miss a day this week. I wouldn't miss a day. I would probably miss like half a day, but fuck that. I'm gonna see if I can push that back. But every day this week, I'm supposed to be doing 8 hours. So we're trying to start around 8, 9, and we're going to like 5 or 6. Okay? So for anybody who's thinking about stream schedule this week, every day, 8 or 9, going to 5 or 6. Cool? It's Big Pluto. Come on, man. That's my boy, man. You know, I was looking at Pluto this morning. I was just like, yo, nobody looks at me with this much love other than my mama. Like, Pluto was just looking at me like, Daddy, I love you. And I was just like, I love you too. I'll take any amount of depositions for you. All right, cool. Oh, yeah. Yo, they said Fat Joe was going in on Joe Budden? What the hell? What's going on? Fat Joe? And let me play the clip. Nah, this is crazy. So Fat Joe, and I think, by the way, honestly, I think Fat Joe has a new show. So him and Jadakiss have a new podcast, and I think they're trying to make waves a little bit. Not necessarily Jada, but I think Fat Joe, who's had like he had the Instagram show for a long time, which was doing pretty good. Now that he's in a podcast lane, I think he knows how to like move the needle a little bit, and I think he took aim at Joe while discussing some current events. If you guys don't remember the whole thing with 50 Cent, Joe Budden courtside. So when 50 Cent was courtside and Joe Budden was sitting behind him, right? You see Joe right here. See Joe right here. You see 50. Sorry. You see Joe right here. You see 50 right here. The person sitting next to him is actually Fat Joe. And I know we're talking about two Joes, but this is Joe Budden, 50, and then Fat Joe. Apparently, like, you know, Joe Budden and 50 kind of whispered to each other. They've kind of both made a little bit light of the situation online. But I didn't think it would be Fat Joe who would be ended up really clowning Joe Budden. And he did on this show. Check this out. By the way, they have a new podcast. I should check it out. It's called Joe and Jada.
I'm not going 10th row. I'm not going.
Here we go.
Why not?
Huh? Ticket.
I heard that. What was the most expensive ticket for the game? What, 500,000? Something like that? 130,000?
I don't know. It was 54,000 to seat the game I went. I was tempted to sell it.
Or something like that.
I would have never caught a ticket again. You know that shit was 54,000 a seat.
That's crazy. I would never do that.
He's talking about the seats.
What?
I ain't paying 54 a ticket.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Well, I've done it.
Damn, Knicks tickets are that expensive? Well, I guess courtside, right? Yo, my stomach is turning off this coffee shit, man. It's never happened before.
I can do a lot with 50 grand.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
New York Knicks, a Knick floor seat experience is like a bucket list of life that, you know, you can cross that off.
I kind of did it for free, so I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
That's why I would never pay for the ticket. I need it free.
Let me tell you something, man. I've paid that much, even more for boxing matches.
Nah, I'll do that.
Who's this guy?
And you know, this shit is crazy because your man Edgar Berlanga, my little man Edgar Berlanga, fight Canelo.
Here we go.
Suspect for me is I'm not going 10th row. I'm not going 5th row. I gotta be front row.
So you want all the
Because somebody you don't like, your enemy, gonna come sit right at, you know, we call that the Joe Budden seats. You know, them second row.
I don't even got
You
a
ain't
hood.
got a hoodie?
I don't even got a hood.
Yo, listen, them second, third row, I can't do it. I gotta sit front row. I'll give you my experience.
What do you call them seats?
The Joe Budden seats. Them shit second row. You know, perfect example. Him and 50 got some shit, and I'm sitting courtside, and 50 comes
He was
sit.
right behind y'all. Though.
Okay, but he's behind.
Yo, chat, this is why, honestly, this is why I don't like to go to shit where other celebrities go. Because in reality, there's too many celebrities, everybody got money, and they're always doing this weird competition. I'm pretty sure Joe Budden saved $20,000 or $30,000, and his girl, who he brought, no disrespect to her, she felt like that shit was courtside. You come through a little bit different entrance, like, oh shit, this is like, it's still kind of courtside. But your feet ain't on the motherfucking floor. But it feels like courtside. His girl got no problems, unless his girl dated a baller that really had her courtside. So Joe Budden seats, quote unquote, they're valid. But this is why you can't keep up with the Joneses. And for me, if I'm ever going to do some celebrity shit, I got to do, like, I ain't going to cap with you. Oh, shit, I got to show y'all this, chat. I got to show y'all this. I just want to show you how pretentious this industry is. I want to show you how pretentious this industry is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Damn, what type of shit I got up in my shit? What the fuck? Here we go. I'm going to show you how pretentious everything is in the industry, right? And this is why if I'm ever popping out where any of y'all niggas is at, I'm popping out. Like, I kind of get what Joe is saying, because if you're going to go do that for the look, you got to get front row. Second row, not the look. You got to get front row. Or just stay up in the box. I usually stay up in the box. I don't pay for tickets, period. So I'll be damned. First, I don't even like the Knicks. I just get free tickets. So I'll be up in the box, chilling, taking pictures. I take pictures, eat the food, and dip by halftime. I ain't trying to get that traffic. Fuck out of here. Fuck the Knicks. Anyway, by the way, I'll be at the next round. Here's the thing. I'm gonna show you how pretentious like all of this shit is. Where is it at? Oh my God. Where is it? Fuck. And yes, I'm going to make it about me. Not about me. I just like giving a personal story. Where is it at? Fuck. Can I not find the shit? I might not be able to find it. No. Oh, right here. Bingo. Okay. I'm gonna post this real quick, right? I'm gonna post this real quick. I'm gonna delete it though after I post it. Where is it at? Perfect. This is what I'm telling you. And chat, I just want to show you how wasteful, and the argument that Joe is having, it's a real thing. That's why I keep telling y'all. When rappers all buy the same car, they then compete with women. Like, it's always this the competition never stops. This is why you can't hang around celebrities. If I go to the game, I want to be where the celebrities are. Because if you're not where the celebrities are, they're going to be like, damn, you ain't that lit because you not in this part where the real celebrities are, right? Like, because when you go to the Knicks game, they do this whole thing. It's like Celebrity Row. They play your music. When 50's there, they play his fucking music. When Boogie was there, they show you on the screen for like 25 seconds. They play your music. It's like they welcome you to the garden. So if you don't get that, they're like, well, you're not that lit. It's stupid, if you ask me. But this is what you sign up for when, number one, you have an ego. Because you're only going down to them seats because you want to flex and show off, right? Like, a lot of this shit is not even, you could watch the game better at home, but you want to go and flex, so now you're spending out the ass. All right, look at this shit, chat. Okay. So, matter of fact, Selena sent this to me. So, remember I was in, for Aiden's boxing event, I go down to Miami. Down to Miami. If you ever seen, we went, I guess it went viral. I was on a yacht, and I was playing, like Drake's song, Somebody You Love, and it was a bunch of bitches twerking, and people were trying to whatever. Cool. So anyway, it's spring break or some shit. Like, everybody's down there. I mean, everybody and their mom is down there. Like, nigga, I've never seen traffic with boats. Like, boats were in traffic. So much boat, like yachts going in and out. Now, I don't even know how this pic get taken, but I start getting hit up from mad people. But Selena, too. Selena hits me and says, Ak, yo. Well, first of all, she asks, is like, wait, you got a girl? Second thing she says is like, yo, you gotta hit me like for the Yacht Connect. Let me post it, right? First of all, I don't even think I paid for the yacht. I don't even know how we even got a yacht. But anyway, this was the post. Somebody posted, check this out. Somebody in another yacht, this is me, on another yacht, passing by my yacht, takes a picture of me like, I don't know, I guess I'm hugging some chick and some whatever. And then they say, Ak, you're making too much money to be on that little boat. Call me next time. First of all, we only had maybe 9-10 people on it. Like, it's like a 60-foot yacht. Anyway, I am making it about me a little bit. But just to tell you how pretentious the world is, and this is why people feel the need to compete, because Fat Joe is literally bragging on Joe saying, I'm in the first row, you're in the second row. Like, this is such a stupid thing to really be bragging about. But being a celebrity and kind of having an ego as a male, you find yourself arguing about dumb shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like arguing that, all right, yo, you're in first class versus the seat right outside first class. It's like, who gives a fuck at the end of the day? Y'all on the same plane. But people just keep shitting on each other, right? Okay. All right. So that happens. Let me tell you, like, obviously, I'm telling you right now, like, yeah, it doesn't mean nothing. Like, it was a really nice boat. Who gives a fuck, right? Like, I guess they thought I should have came out with a 100-foot yacht, right? But who the fuck? Why would I want to pay $15,000 for a fucking boat where, to keep it real, all the bitches on the boat get on there and they're taking Instagram? I'm not having no fun. I ain't get my dick stuck on this fucking boat. Like, nigga, I'm just over here just kind of kicking it with my guys. The bitches, when they get on the boat, this is all you see all day. So I'll be paying that amount of money for them for like 2 hours. And I was just trying to relax. Anyway, here's the point. It's my birthday, when is it? 2 days ago. So now, first of all, I'm in Jersey, so that's a little bit different. So yachts hit a little bit different in Jersey. Means they don't hit at all. But I was like, you know what? I'm not in Miami, but because they're asking me what I want to do. I said, I really don't want to do nothing. I just want to stream. I agree to go out to eat. I go out to eat. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe Sunday, which is yesterday. I said, maybe I'll do a yacht. Like, if y'all find like a nice yacht, I'll do it. They come back to me and they say, yo, we got a yacht. It's 45 feet. Now, I just was in Miami and niggas is talking about I'm on the little boy yacht. I can't be on no more little boy yacht. It's over. If Act not on the big 75-footer, don't even invite me. It's Big Act, not the little one. Obviously, this is ego talking, chat. I'm being self-deprecating and just being honest with y'all. I told my team, we ain't even got that many people to go. I said, I will not be caught dead on a small yacht again. Ever in life. Niggas gonna see me on the shit, be like, is that Jeff Bezos? Nigga, even if I gotta spend out that, but again, it's stupid. Just stupid, right? Like, you'll spend tens of extra thousands of dollars because one nigga post this. I don't even know. I guess he was on Yacht too. I don't know what Yacht he was on. You making too much money to be. First of all, he didn't even call what I was on a yacht. He called it a little boat, like it was a tugboat. So now I'm over here like, oh, hell no, nigga, I don't know goddamn boat. But again, this is how the rich keep spending money to keep up with other people's lifestyles rather than what makes you happy. So anyway, I say that to say I'll delete it. Going back to the story, this is the dumbest argument. And did Joe respond to this? This is the dumbest argument of all time. I'm sitting in the first row. You're sitting in the second row. Huh? But okay, I digress. Here we go.
Those were still considered floor seats.
Those
if you
are
know
they?
anything.
Listen,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Is AA and BB.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row, and he's in like third row. Like, that would bother.
Nah, he was in the third row in the second. Yo, Fat Joe putting mad gas on this right now. Look, 50 Cent, Joe Budden courtside. Nigga, it's one row behind him, bro. Right? Let's see. One row. Right here. It's one row. One row. Like, this nigga. Oh, no, that was a different day. It's one row, though. Look. Anyway.
Bother me if I was Joe Buttons.
Look.
But the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row. And
now, I don't know if Joe has responded to this, but this is why I don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Because anytime, and I don't know if Joe paid for them seats. Now, if Joe paid for them seats to give his girl a good experience, cool. If Joe paid for them seats to feel like he was one of the front row niggas, Joe's soul is in turmoil right now. Trust me. Like, his soul is in turmoil because when you hear this, now you won't even want to sit in the second row ever again. Yo, I guarantee you won't even see Joe Budden sitting anywhere but courtside next time. Guaranteed. You won't see him second row, third row. Like, even if they offer him second row tickets again for free, it's going to be like, y'all offered him the nosebleeds. I'm telling you, this is what ego does to us men, bro. The way Fat Joe talking about Joe right now, that nigga, yo, he want to sit at half court on the logo. Trust.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's AA and BB.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row, and he's in like third row. Like, that would bother me if I was Joe Buttons.
Yo, Jamal, stop playing. It wasn't third row, bro. It was second row. We seen it, gang. And also, here's another thing, too. If I'm Joe, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to be mad. I'm going to tell you why I'll be mad. Again, I don't know people's business, so I'm just making assumptions. I ain't trying to diss nobody. I'm just being honest. I think Joe paid for them tickets. I think Fat Joe and 50 tickets are comped. Usually when they give you those, they're doing it. They give out a certain amount. It's like they have these guest accommodations. They'll find out who's in town. That's why you'll see some actors, some whatever. They're not paying for the tickets. It's free. I'd be damned if I spend, let's say Joe spent $15K each on tickets, right? $15K for himself, $15K for his girl. I'd be tight if I spend $30, you got it for free and you talking shit. Hell nah, nigga. Hell nah. Guaranteed Fat Joe ain't buy them tickets. Fat Joe came with Fifth, and Fifth probably got comp the tickets. Not saying Fifth can't afford it, but a lot of times with those tickets there, they'll just give it to you because you're a guest. Like, it's a big deal to have 50 in the building. You get what I'm saying? You can't stun on me with the free tickets when I'm paying for the tickets.
Listen,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's AA and BB.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row, and he's in like third row. Like, that would bother me if I was Joe Buttons. It happened to me.
See, nah, he disrespecting Joe. See, you know damn well Joe don't like for him to be referred to as Buttons. It's Buddin. If I was Joe Buttons.
A little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row, and he's in like third row. Like, that would bother me if I was Joe Buttons. It happened to me before. It happened to me before. When we
Now,
just
listen,
squashed
if he
the
didn't
beef.
bump in the fifth, would he have a nice experience?
You got a good seat, but the problem is you got to always expect the enemy might come front row.
Yo, what are you,
No,
what are you thinking?
This man is
trying to
funny,
tell you the
bro.
truth.
The enemy might come front row. You see, Fat Joe, he know what he doing. Because in reality, my enemy's back is turned to me. I'm in third row or second row. I got the drop on him.
Enemy will come front row. Look what happened to Joe Budden.
That's the only example you can give me.
I'm going to give you another one.
Okay.
I went to a Babyface concert.
Yo.
Hold up.
All right, let me hear it.
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear
Let
it.
me hear it.
I'm going to a Babyface concert. Once again, 50 Cent is the culprit. We just squashed the beef for 50 Cent. Everybody's cool. I'm in the second row. Natina got me the tickets. I'm second row. The man
Shout out to Natina from Def Jam. Shout out to Natina.
And sit in the front row right in front of me. Yo, Crack, what's up? Yo, hi, Mrs. Crack. This, I was like, oh, never again.
Fifth?
Yes!
It's just fifth, then.
No, he's just like, it's him. I'm telling you, he might be like, yo, where Jada at? Third row? 3C? He'll come to 1C. I'm telling you. This guy is notorious for this. I learned my lesson that night. I was at the Babyface concert. I said, yo, Natina, don't ever. I don't care if it's Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills. I'm front row. I won't go.
Yo, they arguing over who front row. I like it. Yo, I keep telling you, man. Yo, what's that saying? Before the fall comes the pride, or pride comes before the fall. Like ego, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Ego is, it's like when God was creating us men, ego drives us to create greatness, but it's also a character flaw, and it's the thing that usually drives us towards other things that's not good too.
I feel you.
You call that arrogant.
I feel it. That ain't
full of
arrogant. I feel
himself.
it.
Nigga said that's the Joe Button seats. That's crazy. I think Joe paid for it. I'm giving Joe more respect than if he got the seat for free. If you were 50s plus one, no, with all due respect to Fat Joe, I like Fat Joe, but if you're 50s plus one, I'm sorry. I think the fact that Joe probably dropped the 30 ball, I got to give it to him. Let me see. They said Joe responded. Let's see. They're beefing over seats. I love it. Yo, sometimes when I'm having petty squabbles or like petty arguments, I'm like, damn, I wonder if the rest of the media person would be like, yo, this nigga act be doing too much. Like he too petty. Then when I see two grown ass men pushing 50 arguing over seats, yes, now I know that we're all this petty. We're all this fucking petty. Don't make fun of my fucking seats, nigga. That's what I like to hear. Okay, is it this? Joe Budden, Fat Joe. Let's find it. By the way, who the hell that said Fat Joe's so fat and obese his whole life? They said that his legs are forever bent. Yo, they said Fat Joe is so fat or obese his whole life that no matter even if he on the Ozempic, his legs are forever bent inwards. They were showing that this nigga legs is concave in. It's not even some knock knee shit. Just yo, this is crazy. Somebody said freeze a flex. Well, here's the thing with all due respect, like, you know, and I fuck with these guys. I ain't trying to be disrespectful to nobody. Fifth, Joe, or even both Joes. I don't know. Like, I know I'm definitely not. By the way, somebody offered to buy me, or they were gonna buy. So they were buying 4 tickets for courtside, and they offered me 2, and I was just like, and it's because they saw me in the box at one of the Knicks games, and they're like, nah, nigga, you should be courtside, and I was just like, bro, there's nothing in me that feels inadequate. That when you go there, I like being in the box because I don't like being seen. I got too many ops anyway. I got mad ops, okay? Even though my ops usually broke, so usually when I go in the building with opulence, they're not there. It's okay. I like being in the box. But they were telling me like, yo, you don't see how they put up A Boogie face up there and they're playing his music? Man, they should be having your name, DJ Akademiks and Deuce. I'm like, there's nothing that tells me that I need to be, like, I feel good already. I feel very content in who I am, and I'm good. Also, I don't think I deserve to be there. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, and this is for the JBP fans. You know, I'm not, that's my guy. I don't think Joe is up the caliber. I'm talking about Joe Budden to be front row where they're putting your face up on the thing. I think a lot of that goes off of, and when I explained to the person that told me, I said, to keep it real, gang, like, A Boogie done sold out the Garden a few times. Like, his relationship not only with New York, but with the Garden is different. He sold out the Garden a bunch of times. 50 Cent sold out the Garden a bunch of times. Now, I don't know about Fat Joe. I know Fat Joe is Joey Crack. He's been, well, whatever. Joe Budden as the top podcaster in the game, I don't think you're there. Joe Rogan, I think they would put there. I'm going to be honest. It's like super A-list. That's not super A-list. You know what I mean? It's okay. But then why they clowning Fat Joe like this? This nigga, they said his knees bent concave in. That's crazy. Okay, here we go. So this is Joe responding. Here we go.
I'm not there for the celeb role. I'm not there to be seen.
Yeah, it's called celeb role. Yeah.
I'm not in the record label seats. I'm not in the Kith seats. I'm not in the comp seats.
That's okay. That's why I'm giving him credit. Joe purchased his tickets. Yo, that's how I know Joe love his girl. Joe bought his tickets. You catch me with a shorty there. Them tickets are 100% comped. By the way, I'll give y'all a little surprise. My mans and them own the box y'all see me in. I don't pay for that. I get every event. My mans owns the box. Yo, Ak, you coming to this event? Yo, give me 4 tickets out of the box. They get 20. It's a box suite. They get 20. They pay a couple million a year for the entire box. Every event, they own it at the spot. Like, they have their logos and everything up in there. All right, cool. If you think now, granted, I'm not gonna tell anybody but the chat that. So when they ain't, they're like, damn, Act dropping a bag in there. Dummy, nope, freak. I don't even like the Knicks. You think I'd pay to go see the Knicks? Fuck, nigga. Somebody said act cheap. Yeah, nigga. You see, I don't spend money. I spend money selfishly. I don't spend money to keep up with the Joneses. So I'd rather buy 4,000 cars because I like cars. But to show that I could go to the Knicks game, I'm not spending the fucking coin. I don't even like them. By the way, the Kendrick shit, that's what I'm saying. You know, how much money did they spend on the box? I think it was, I had first heard it was like 50, but I thought it was like, I think it's like 30,000. Nigga, you think I would have missed the concert if I paid 30,000 out of my own pocket, nigga? I would have been up in, nigga, I would have brought my computer up in there, nigga. I'm not missing that for 30 grand. If I spend my own money, I'm not spending on that. The last tickets I bought, which are going to be the last tickets I bought, was Drake tickets. I ain't buying no more tickets ever again in life. If God don't require me to be there if I got to pay. No, I'm sorry. Because most of the stuff I'm going to is for my peers. So, yeah. Somebody said, well, you did buy that chain in Florida. Yeah, and I realized, so my boy, I'm glad you mentioned the chain. I'm going to tell you how much, like, I think I'm either growing up or I don't know what's going on with me. Because a nigga stopped wearing all the shit, and now I'm doing construction in the crib. Bro, I wore the big-ass piece. I've spent $45,000 on this big-ass, it looks obnoxious. It's a box that opens up. I forgot how many carats. It's just icy. This is after the whole thing where I'm like, yo, I'm a prize shit happened. So I said, make me like a gift type of thing. That's the prize. I'm going to wear it around my thing. I'm talking to the jeweler. I said, man, I want to go dumb on this. I want these niggas to know Big Act is out here. Niggas say, oh, we could make it 3D. It's going to be like this. I'm like, nigga, I'm a 3D type of nigga. Bruh, I tried to wear it the other day. The shit just so bulky on your chest, I took it off, bro. Like, it just sits in my house. It just sits here. Bro. Definitely a waste of money. 100% waste of money. You know what I mean? Now, granted, of course, I could still exchange it and extract some value back. But it made me realize you're fucking stupid to try to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, and this is what happened too. I think I told you this. My jeweler called me, and my jeweler said, yo, Ack, yo, you got the Cuban links, but yo, you got to get the Infinity links. I look up Quavo and them niggas rapping about Infinity links. You know what I realized? this jewelry shit will never stop. It will never stop. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. That Lambo I got is 2022. So if we in 2030, I'll be liable to bring out my 2022 Lambo, okay? It's 2022. I'm not changing it. It's 2022. My Maybach is 20. They were paid in full. It's 20. It might be 2025. After these years pass, I'm not bringing yo, my dealer, my Mercedes guy, he got me the Lambo too. He hit me on my birthday. Said, yo, happy birthday. When your dealers are texting you, they're never just being like, yo, we just love you. Come back in to get a real present, my guy. Say, yo, you got to get the new G-Wagon. No, I don't. My G-Wagon's from 2017. I don't got to get the new one. No. I don't got to do it. No, not doing it. Nope. So, anyway. But at some point, you got to jump off that bandwagon of keeping up with the Jones. It's the worst thing ever. And let me now properly hear Joe's response without interrupting. Here it goes.
I'm not there for the celeb role. I'm not there to be seen. I'm not in the record label seats. I'm not in the kith seats. I'm not in the comp seats. I'm in the seat that I wanted to purchase, so I bought it. It's really just that simple. I'm not with all the extra hoopla out there. I'm not out here running around moving with the leverage of my management company or trying to be buddy-buddy or friendly with rappers that I'm not really buddy-buddy or friendly with. I'm the walking embodiment of standing on my own, too. And you know that, which is why you're using my name on your newly established platform, trying to get traction, because I'm the best in the biz. I recognize that, too. Lastly, I just don't know what Joe Budden seats mean, and because I have so much relationship equity with Fat Joe, I'll wait for him to tell me. I don't want to assume. On one hand,
Muted Akademiks in the building again. You know I'm muted now? Yeah, I start spamming quick. All right, anyway. I said, Joe, hold on, I got to do it again. Joe, you know damn well what that nigga meant, man. You don't got to ask for no explanations. You know what he meant. Listen, it's one of them ones. He basically trying to tell your ass. Remember when niggas back in the day used to be having them Chrysler 300 with the body kit that looked like what did it look like, a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or something like that? And niggas, like, you had to look twice sometimes. Like, wait, is that? Oh, no, that's a bum-ass nigga with the Chrysler 300 acting like he got a fucking real foreign. That's what he trying to say, Joe. He trying to say you bought the Chrysler 300 and was trying to move like it was a Bentley. That's all he's saying. Joe, don't let him do it to you, though. He trying to make the Joe Budden seats thing a term. Nah, hell nah. You guys nip that in the bud. You got to nip that shit in the bud. Y'all remember when niggas was rolling around with Chrysler 300s? Gang, it's the same thing with the niggas with this little Z06, even though that is a pretty good car. The little Corvette, when niggas was rolling around with that like it was a Lambo or a Ferrari. That's true too. But I ain't gonna lie, at least with that appreciated, because during COVID, that Corvette shit is fire now. But you know what it is? Y'all know. I always said listen to the whole thing before you respond. Oh, my bad.
Budden seats mean, and because I have so much relationship equity with Fat Joe, I'll wait for him to tell me. I don't want to assume. On one hand, where I come from, you would want to be seated behind your enemy, if anything.
I agree.
That's the part I didn't follow.
Yeah.
I agree.
You wouldn't want to be seated in front of him. So, if he was talking about that, I don't really get it, but that's on him. And lastly, maybe Joe Budden seats just means sitting behind somebody you make a lot more than. Ooh. Until we get clarity on it, we won't really know. But be clear, reimagine how y'all mention my name in some of these conversations. I make a lot more than you niggas.
Oh, I like this talk.
So,
I like this talk. I always checking when this talk come in. I like it. Yes. Talk that shit.
If I'm seated behind you, it's by choice, enjoying some popcorn.
Hey, Joe, I like what you're doing right here. I know I said I wasn't gonna pause again, but I ain't gonna go on mute no more. I'm gonna just the mute button. I ain't gonna touch. Listen. Joe, they used to do it to you in rap. They trying to do it to you in a podcast, not podcast game because they can't do it there. But they trying to do it to you overall. Still like oh yeah, the Joe Budden shit. Like they're trying to like little nigga you, can't let them little nigga you. I like that. Talk that shit. By the way, he definitely not talking about 50. He talking about Fat Joe.
A lot more than. Until we get clarity on it, we won't really know. But be clear, reimagine how y'all mention my name in some of these conversations. I make a lot more than you niggas. So, if I'm seated behind you, it's by choice, enjoying some popcorn with my baby. I say that with all the respect in the world. So, much love to Fat Joe and Jadakiss. I'll continue to support their broadcast, and hopefully everyone out there will continue to do the same. But this is a non-issue, you guys. Everybody back to work. hey, if this is a non-starter. If this ever comes to be something, then we'll address it later. But Joe and I will talk. This is a non-starter. Salute to all. And go Knicks always.
Okay.
What was the thing you called it? A moose boosh. A moosh boosh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Reset the palate.
Did it do it?
Right?
Didn't work the way I thought it would, but you know.
What you say?
Right, moose doesn't feel bouged, you know?
To those boys.
And then it's kind of like the guy in the front talking about the guy in the back of him, the second guy, not knowing that there's 300 other rows behind. It's like you almost like disrespect those people.
But wait, dog, if I was sitting in the nosebleeds, I make more than you. Like, my seat should never come up in your conversation. If I was outside in a lawn chair watching on a fucking mobile device, my seat.
Yo, I love it when, listen, these are the true unks. Like, you know, Joe and Fat Joe. I love when the unks engage in YN activity. Joe, in a unk way, is telling Fat Joe, we could go band for band. We could go M for M. Joe, you got to respond in like. He basically told you in an eloquent way, we could go band for band. The band for band Joe versus Joe challenge. That's what I want to see. I want to see that more than the verses. Listen, I just want to watch back and watch this shit. This YN activity.
Like disrespect those people.
But wait, dog, if I...
Nah, 44 is unk. Yeah, 44 is unk. 44 is unk. Yeah, 44 is unk. Yeah. I'm big bro right now. That's what it, like somebody did a whole breakdown. I'm big bro. I'm big bro. Act big bro. Okay? Beneath big bro is YN. What, right? I think, yeah. Beneath big bro is YN. I ain't no YN no more. I'm big bro. Big bro act. I can't wait to get to unk status though. Because when you get to unk status, you get to say all type of shit.
If I was sitting in the nosebleeds, I make more than you. Like, my seat should never come up in your conversation. If I was outside in a...
I do love a good pocket watching session. Plus, I think Joe been waiting for a reason to show off the Ferrari and the fucking Rolls Royce on these niggas. Joe been waiting. Joe been waiting. It was no surprise. I think, so I was at one game, and I looked at the people, I usually don't, but sometimes he'll show like the people you follow and the people who follow you who like watch. I seen Joe looked at my story. I was in the box. I don't like the Knicks. Y'all should know I'm not paying for Knicks thing. I don't like the Knicks. But shit, it's great, you know, they're great time, great people around. I'm cool. Next game, Joe is there. Joe could do whatever niggas could do, man. The only thing is, I was just surprised. When I seen Joe where he was sitting, I was like, wait, Joe paid for this shit? But I forgot he really likes the Knicks. He grew up on it, so I could get why.
A lawn chair watching on a fucking mobile device. My seat shouldn't come up in none of y'all conversations. That was confusing a little bit, but to each his own.
Hey, yo, Complex, since y'all love making lists, y'all need 2 lists. The top media personalities, and I'm telling you, niggas is starting to get froggy. The top earning media personalities. We got to go pocket watching, man. Or I'll make it my damn self. Yeah, don't steal my idea. I'll make it. I'm going, yo, chat. Next week, when we're at like a boring time during the Diddy trial, I'm making the top paid media personalities list, and I'm going to do it for hip-hop, then I'm going to do it for sports. I might need some help on the sports thing, but I definitely know it for hip-hop.
Anywho's.
How about now? Is your emotion boost?
There you go. Now my boost is amused. Yeah.
Spencer, I'm not muted, bro. Okay, anyway. A good old little Unk Fest. I like it. Love both guys. Cool. All right. I'd be damned if a nigga be like, yo, the academic seats while he's shitting on it. While you shitting on those seats, don't brand it as my seats. Yo, it's like niggas like, yo, I'm about to go get the new big boy G-Wagon, not the Akademiks G-Wagon. Nigga, what the fuck you mean the Akademiks G-Wagon? Fuck are you talking about? Okay, all good. I did have some topics. Wait, let me check quickly on court. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are here. I think most of us are here for they're still out at lunch. Oh, they're back. Oh wow. They took a 30-minute lunch? If I let this in, Okay. So the judge is now dealing with another issue. The judge says if I let this in, Cassie could be recalled as a witness. AUSA says I doubt we would call her. The judge says the defense could call her. AUSA says I doubt she would be available. They're basically hinting that Cassie will be pregnant. Now, we don't know what issue this is, but it clearly is an evidence that is going to involve Cassie that the defense could say, we have had the witness testify either we didn't have the witness, this evidence wasn't in at that point, so we couldn't ask that witness who's material to that evidence. We couldn't ask that witness that question. So if y'all admit the evidence, we got to be able to bring her back in. Now, the judge says the evidence is out, so it's a non-issue. Look like Cassie will not be called back. But here's the thing. I'm wondering if they're saying it based on the evidence being maybe irrelevant or redundant or maybe just didn't, whatever. Or maybe the judges, apparently there's a conversation that was had between Cassie's lawyer and the court about Cassie's availability and the fact that she would be given birth expectedly in the next few weeks. So I'm wondering if the judge just made the decision because she's going to be unavailable due to childbirth, or the judge is saying this is a waste of time. Okay. The judge also said, I anticipate Mr. David will be the next witness. How is he relevant? Okay, so that's the judge asking. AUSA says he's relevant to the means and methods of the enterprise. By the way, this is the first supposed personal assistant of Diddy that has, I guess we could call it at this point, flipped on him. But I don't know if that's fair to say, because will we say that Dawn flipped on him? Because they were associated with him before, but it don't mean that they were ever defending him. But I guess this would mean flipped on him, because according to other people's testimony, Mr. David James, one of his assistants, is a person who used to help carry out his bidding. So he could have been somebody who could be seen as a co-conspirator. Now, clearly, he's going to be testifying for the government, okay? So they're saying he's going to be relevant to the means and the methods of the enterprise, and Mr. Combs threatening to assault employees. So while we wait for the jury to come back in, here's a court art of the Combs 2D Georgia lawyer, Nicole.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freakoffs. And Cassie, you feel me, she was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her well. This is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freakoffs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freakoffs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. Then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked I'm surprised it was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey, man. I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having freakoffs with. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Act was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Act said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.